Hello guys, how's it going? How's the day been? So today I bring you a new series. I decided it was about time to get the Dark Soul achievement, seeing as how the DLC is coming around in just a few days, 2 weeks if I'm not mistaken. I decided that it was about time to get off my lazy ass and actually get the achievements that I'm missing. So, this series is going to be basically sort of a playthrough of the game. However, it's a mix between a playthrough and a speedrun because I'll be doing things so that I rush, for example, the rings, and also I'll rush bosses so I can get their souls for miracles that I'm missing and stuff like that. But yeah, so how this is going to go is basically I'll make a few objectives for the day, and for the session, and go from there. I'll try to get those said objectives. If not, I'll try to get as close as possible to them. But yeah, so starting off on this first episode, I went through my inventory and I noticed that I was missing the power within pyromancy. I don't know how didn't actually see it, like how did I miss it, but it happened. So I guess for the first objective it'll be the power within pyromancy, and for the second one it will be the last ring that I need on the first new game, and that is the wolf ring, because I started farming the grooves, but that took a long time and I stopped at like 20ish. Wolf sword grass thingy. I don't know. You guys know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so those are the two objectives for today. Power within, wolf ring, and just start New Game Plus. So let's get right into it. Alright, so we'll start off with power within, as it will be the easiest and the quickest of the two to get. It's nothing really much to say about this one. I mean, I just had to backtrack to the Grand Archives and go to the secret room where it's stored. However, pardon the frame rate here. My computer was having a few hiccups when I was recording this. But yeah, the only real issue here is that I didn't really remember how exactly to get to the place. So you see me, go places that don't go anywhere and backtrack. Like, for example, here, wow, we went back to the ladder that was just in, or just at. And then I climbed the ladder and it's exactly where I'm supposed to go, which is fortunate, or else I might have gotten lost in this level, which is something that happens a lot to me, getting lost in games. It's dumb, but I know. But yeah, now that I see what it actually is, I can pretty much assess why I didn't actually get it, because the first time I went through this place, I was really focused on the crystal lizards. So, and you can actually see the room behind the bookcase. Yeah, since I was so focused with the crystal lizards, I didn't actually get to find this lever. I mean, it's not that big of a secret, but it eluded me for sure. It was secret enough for me. But yeah, that's about it for this achievement. Just a cautionary strike just to see if it's not a mimic. And lo and behold, I also didn't have the witch's lock, which doesn't really change anything, honestly. But yeah, there you go. First achievement. Do I do a celebratory hurrah? Celebratory hurrah? No, I break the pottery. I think that's celebratory enough, right? No, seriously, no celebratory Ra. Oh, that's sad. Oh well. I get to read the descriptions. Yes, that's very useful. But man, I'm really waiting for my celebratory Ra. I thought I did that in every single achievement I got, like objective I got. God damn. Well, I guess it's time to jump into the Wolfring bit, which is honestly going to be a pain in the ass. So, see you there, mates. Okay, so moving on to the Wolfring part of this video. I just wanted to show you guys my setup for farming and my route. I don't know if it's the most efficient or not. I didn't even bother to search on the internet because really it just made sense. I mean, the grooves are right here next to the bonfire, so it seems like it'd be the fastest way to farm them. Either way, even if it isn't, since it's over with, I'm not going to do it ever again unless poise somehow becomes relevant. Or not poise being relevant, it's more like the Wolfring itself becoming relevant. Cause in here I'll just speed it up. I put it at 1,500% quicker because I had like an hour of footage of this, this farming route. Yeah, it took me about an hour to get the 10, I think it was 10 sword grasses that I needed. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, like a way to put, I think that a way to make the Wolfring interesting and relevant would be to make it so it adds poise to like smaller weapons attacks, like like it is right now. When you start to swing with the like you can trade a swing between a straight sword and a Yorm's Great Machete, for example. But and you obviously the Yorm's Great Machete is gonna poise through it and win the trade, because the straight sword user is gonna get staggered. What I think would be interesting to see, since you're basically expending a ring slot for this, but it'd be interesting to see if the Wolfring added poise or hyper armor, whatever you want to call it, to your, for example, straight sword swings. Obviously, this would have to be balanced, because as soon as I said this, the first thing that came to mind was the Cartus Curve sword. As you can see here, I even coming into the video, you can see that I went back just to get rusted coins, because I just wasn't getting too many drops, and they actually helped, because that 50 more item discovery actually made the difference. The drops started dropping quite more often. But yeah, going back to the Wolfring discussion, I think that the Cartus Curve sword, with that change to the Wolfring, yeah, I wouldn't like that, because then it'd be the same situation. It'd be even worse. Someone who doesn't have the Wolfring tried, went for a trade with the Cartus Curve sword and would just get wrecked. So I don't know. It'd be an interesting thing to see, even if it was just daggers. Imagine, this is crazy, but imagine if you had like a dagger build. You just had the Brigand twin daggers, and you were up against the Yorm Great Machete guy, and you went for a trade, right? And then both of you guys don't even stagger, and at that point, because you have the Wolfring, maybe you win because the dagger has more DPS, even though it has less damage, maybe, or at least you even the trade. You know, it would give a little bit of more depth to the combat itself, because then you have to adapt to that reality, that now you can actually trade with the Yorm's Great Machete, even if you have a little wee tiny bit sword, you know. But again, I don't. But the thing is, the other side of this argument is that really small swords reign the meta. Like, they rule. That's the word I wanted. Rule the meta, because if you go to the to 120 duels, and all you'll see is Carter's Curve Sword, Gargle Flame Spear, and S-Talk maybe a little bit, the Dark Sword obviously, and I think I got them all. Oh, and the Godhards for sure. And you don't see big weapons, so if you gave poise to small weapons, then, or hyper armor, whatever you want to call it, then I think you'd be screwing the big weapons even more. So I don't know. It was an idea, you know, an idea to get the Wolf Ring to be relevant, but it's just with the poise how it works right now, it's really hard to get it to be relevant without just changing its effect completely. I'm trying to think like a new way to implement a change to the Wolf Ring, but honestly, it's really hard, because you know, because you gotta think like, if you change this, it's going to affect that, and maybe that's not what he wants. So it's kind of it's a shame, because I always feel bad like when I see equipment that isn't actually useful in the game, because why is it there if nobody's gonna use it? I mean, the ring doesn't even give you fashion, because you can't see what rings the other people's are using, right? Like, there's no like, unless you're doing a YouTube video and you're cosplaying Artorias, like you want to cosplay like the perfect Artorias, then yeah, that's the only way you'll use the Wolf Ring and it be useful for you, because you know, you're Artorias, so like a true Artorias. So it's honestly, I think it's weird to have, it's weird and sad to have equipment that it just isn't useful. And like another instance, you can just see like swords. Most people, but then again, like swords, there's always somebody that is going to use even the most mediocre sword. I don't know. Off the top of my head, I'm thinking about the handmaid's dagger. It's probably somebody out there that goes and uses the handmade dagger. And here, I got to 29 wolf blood swordgrass. Hey, I got it right this time. And I was certain, I was bloody certain that I had already given that free swordgrass that you get in the environment. I thought I already gave that to the wolf, right? So I was certain I only needed 29, right? Then obviously I go back to the here I'm showing the drops that I got from this run. I ended up with 15 poison gems and a lot of pine resin. So I go back to the wolf sword, the wolf sword, the old wolf of Farron, to give the 29. But I was a bit skeptical of this because I wasn't sure. I was in a little bit of a middle ground, and yeah, as you'll see, I end up giving, like, testing the waters. So I start by giving 8, and then I give the one that's another one. So that's supposed to be dead, but I don't get anything out of it. And I'm like, oh my god, are you serious right now? And then I give another one, and it gives me the Corvus sword, the old wolf Corvus sword, or whatever it's called. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my god, I still need one more. So I give the rest the 19, and I don't get anything. I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe this. So back I went to farming, and it was about what, 10 minutes, maybe more, of farming, and I got the last one, and I went back to the wolf. And there you go. Wolf ring. Can check that off the list as well. And so the celebratory hurrah! Yeah, good job. So yeah, that's about it. And going back to the topic, what I meant to say was that when there's useless rings, they kind of go to waste. But when there's useless weapons, there's people that eventually use them. But rings are those things that really shouldn't be useless. It just saddens me. And yeah, so here I'm just trying to figure out, again, the computer is having some hiccups for some reason. That's why I'm like stuttering. And yeah, I'm just trying to figure out if I want to buy anything before going to NG Plus. And also checking the description, because I honestly didn't know I was missing this. Like, again, I was convinced that I don't know, I was just convinced that I had at least the first rank or the first wolf grass, I don't know. So yeah, I'm locking and showing and selling the excess from the farming, checking if I want to buy anything before going to NG Plus, and yeah, I think there's really only one thing to do before going to NG Plus. But before that, there was just a little tiny thing that happened to me that I wasn't expecting. As I'm reading the wolf ring, again, okay, I even buy these two, but then something happens, and you probably just guessed what it was. As you saw yeah, I died because I had the goddamn symbol of avarice in my head. I think there's only one thing to do now. It's to go hollow.